So
Cool.
hey
Oh, no, that's
everybody. So I wanted to do a stuttering hangout, and here we have Antoine. Antoine is somebody I met on Facebook. He's a really cool guy, and I wanted to just have a conversation with him about stuttering and kind of give us a chance to tell us who we both are. And I have a couple questions that I wanted to ask Antoine, but also I'm going to answer them as well. Uh, yeah, Antoine. So first question is that what is your name?
my name is Antoine Parent.
Great. And everybody,
So,
my name is Leon Buford. Uh, Next question is that where are you from and where do you currently live?
I am from Hampton, Virginia, and that's where I currently live.
Great. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I currently live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana as well. Next question: how old are you?
I I just turned 33 years old about 2 months ago.
That's cool. I'm currently 33. I'll be 34 on July 23rd. Next question is that are you in a
Okay.
relationship? If single, when was your last relationship?
I am currently single. My last relationship was about 6 years ago.
Great. Um, I'm currently single. My last relationship was about a year ago, about a year and a half. I was with my ex for almost 7 years, and we
Okay.
actually cohabitated as well. Next question is
Okay.
that
I was in the same situation.
really, really,
Yeah, I was cohabitating with my ex and we were together for about um maybe about 5 years or so.
yeah. Um, Next question. Do you do you have any children?
Yes, I have a 10-year-old daughter.
That's awesome. I I don't have any children as of right now, but I do want to have children though. I do. Okay, so our next set of questions is going to focus on stuttering. And first question is that how severe or difficult would you rate your stuttering or talking?
Okay. It can range between about a 2 and a 10, depending on certain factors.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that question, like, do you want to elaborate on that more or no?
Sure. Depending on maybe the day or like my emotions, if I'm upset or worried, um, maybe I can stutter more. Or sometimes it's just excitement, or it 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 does happen. It does happen normally too in my everyday speaking, but it tends to get worse when my emotions are involved.
Yeah. With mine, it's not as bad as it used to be. It's a lot better. My stutter more is like situational, more anxiety driven, where I stutter when I introduce myself to people or when I'm having a bad day or when I'm put in a stressful situation, like put on the spot. Uh, my speech flows really freely when I'm interested in what I'm talking about or when I'm comfortable. I guess I can talk a lot actually, and I don't stutter very much at all. It's a really weird thing. I think a lot of it, like I said, is just anxiety driven. Next question. Do you have any particular situations or triggers that exacerbate your stuttering?
Um, I guess I'm kind of like you. When put in a spot, when put on the spot or put in a stressful situation, it kind of acts up more. You know, when meeting, especially when meeting new people. That's a very stressful situation for me. So things that put me in the high stress.
Yeah, and same here. Probably my most difficult thing is introducing myself and saying my name. I have a lot of trauma about that. I kind of psych myself out of that a lot. I need to do a little bit better because I find that it never is as bad as I make it out to be. What I try to do is I try to give eye contact and I try to just get it out, even if I stutter on my name. And it's gotten a lot better as I got a little bit older. Next question: what effect has stuttering had on your life in general?
Um, I've been a stutterer since I was little, so it got to a point where I don't know if it still is a factor that it kind of lowers my confidence about myself, uh, my self esteem, I guess, because I tried I shouldn't, but I guess I attributed my uh, lack of initiative, lack of going for things to, I might stutter, so I don't want to get, certain like positions. I don't want to stand out because then I'll have to talk, So I guess I'll try to put myself in a low risk situations to have to talk to people, which is why I don't. I mean, I am social, but I don't go out to places where I have to talk and meet a lot of new people all the time. Um, so it definitely put a damper on my self confidence. Um, even in at work or at family gatherings or you know anything like that. I put myself in low risk situations to talk.
Yeah. I honestly, man, I feel the same way about me. It's um, it's affected my confidence very much. So, I spend a little bit too much time comparing myself to other people. Probably the worst thing I do is that I look at children and I listen to how they talk, and some children are so fluent that I get a little down on myself, saying that why can I talk like that, or why do I have a hard time talking? And children can be so honest sometimes that they'll ask you, I guess they'll ask you like, why do you talk like that, or why do you stutter? It's a thing where it's really just in my head. It's just something that I need to cope with. Just to accept that I'm different and that we're there's nothing wrong with us. There's a study that even says that stuttering has no correlation on intelligence at all, and it's just something that I wouldn't even call it a disability because I more call it like just a condition or a situation that you just have to deal with. But I've just had to learn that it's
Yeah,
not as bad as I make it out to be. And a lot of it is, like I said, it's just me. It's just me in my head not realizing that it could be worse, but it's how I it's energy I give out. If I give out the right energy, people are going to understand that it doesn't affect me as much, so they're going to feel at ease as well. Okay, next
right.
question. Do you
I
have any
definitely agree.
friends who stutter?
No, I don't have any friends who stutter.
Um, I have a couple of acquaintances. I don't know if I really call them friends. I talk to them mostly from the NSA meetings. I've kind of hooked up with them. Not really friends per se, but no, I haven't really. I don't really have any friends that stutter. I don't. Um,
Okay.
Next question: do you have any family members who stutter?
Not currently. I have a younger cousin. Actually, that's who I went to the birthday party today. He used to stutter when he was little. He was probably about 2, 3 years old, talking, and he would stutter. And one day I was talking to him, and it's a little funny because um, he saw the way I talk when I stutter. Not only do I stutter, I kind of move. I have like body movements and stuff like that to try to,
Yeah.
I guess, to try to get the words out. But he actually thought that I was trying to make fun of him, and I was like, me and his mom was like, no, like he really stutters like you know. I don't know if it's he grew out of it, but he doesn't stutter anymore, but he used to. So
Yeah. Well, in my family, my family, my mother stutters. That's probably who I got it from. My mom's she has a brother that stutters too. I just met him maybe about 10 years ago. Uh, I like him, but we're not really close. I need to maybe reach out to him a little bit more. And he actually stutters openly, like he doesn't hide it or anything like that. He stutters just fine. And on my dad's side, I have a great uncle that stutters. Next question: do you see fluency uh, as more important versus your quality of life?
um, no, actually, my quality of life is way more important to me because um, there's, you know, this I've come to grow in. I've come to grow within myself to feel like this is a minor issue. Although I still would like to not have it, still just a minor issue. My mom told me a long time ago to not let this affect anything about my life. Whether it be getting a job or anything like that. So, although I would like to be fluent, um, it definitely doesn't take priority over my quality of life.
I agree with you. For me, it's more acceptance and just having a better quality of life. Really, if I could just get over my anxiety of saying my name or just approaching people, if I could get over that, I feel like I would be a much better person because all my other stuttering, I feel like it's not there's not as much of a trauma with it. I feel like that's the one thing that I struggle with is that just getting over that trauma of it. And um, I guess I've learned to accept it now. I learned that I probably will never get rid of it. It's gonna probably stay with me as long as I live. And the fact that when I have children, I'm gonna probably have to deal with them stuttering too, or have to accept that. But I think I'm the kind of person where I think I'm gonna love my children regardless of what afflictions they have, and I feel like I'd be a good father to my children because I would want to be a good example for them, especially if they stutter, because I want them to understand that it's not a terrible thing that I have it too, and I'm gonna show you how to deal with it. And I hopefully I'll be in my child's life enough in such a way where they'll see that every day. They won't have to want that energy, I guess, from somebody else. That's one thing I'm really afraid of. I don't want to have children with somebody where I can't be around my child whenever I want to, because I feel like
Right.
I feel like the father
Right.
needs the father is so important. I feel like the father is like probably I'm gonna say that they're more important than the mother is, but the father that both the energies have to be there. That's really how I feel about that. Uh, Next question.
Right.
Have you ever used any speech tools or speech devices, and if so, can you explain?
Um, the only thing I've done, when I was younger, I went to a speech pathologist. Well, let me backtrack. I was in speech pathology through the school system. I believe all my years of, from elementary school all the way up through high school. And then for a summer to a speech pathologist, a professional speech pathologist here in Virginia. But I bought a speech device last year, but I haven't used it yet. I don't know. why I didn't use it, but I've never used it yet. So
And so I want to ask you, so like the speech device, like what is it called, and like how does it work?
I don't remember what it's called actually, but it works. It's like a Bluetooth that you put in your ear, and you have to have an app on your phone, and I guess the app hears your voice talking, and you can hear your own voice in the Bluetooth. So it makes it, I guess, over time. I guess there's a mechanism in our brain that when we are talking with somebody at the same time, we don't stutter. So if you can hear yourself talk at the same time, then it's supposed to correct your speech.
Actually, I think I've heard of that because there's a device I use called the SpeechEasy. It's actually just like that. It's where it's like a little hearing aid that you put in your ear, and then, it uses what is called the choral effect. Because they say like when you it's like when you're in school, right, and you had to say the actual national anthem or the Star Spangled Banner. When you talk in unison with other people, you don't stutter as much because it I guess it gives you something to like mimic, I guess. And what the speech easy does is that it takes that voice and I think it no I'm sorry I was gonna say it lowers the pitch, but I think it raises the pitch. It raises the pitch to where it doesn't sound like your voice, but you're able to actually, I guess, hear your voice, and it's supposed to like correct your speech. In my experience with it, it only works in limited situations. It works well if you are in like a on one situation. If you're on the phone with somebody with like no background noise, but it doesn't. It's not smart enough to drown out all the other noise. So you can hear everything else, and after a while, it gets so annoying because you can hear everything around you. You can hear like somebody smacking their gum. You can hear everything, and it's just like it. To me, it only works in limited situations. And I didn't like how it was portrayed in the media as this like fixed cure, and they like had it for like 5 seconds, and then as soon as the camera turned off, like her life was fixed, and I'm like, you should have went back and did a long term study on that and realized that it works, but something to that with your brain, it actually will get used to it after a while. So I found that I even stuttered more or stuttered just as much, and I was annoyed now because I could hear everything, and it's like, dude, this is horrible. And I was so lucky that I actually got
Sheesh.
it for free because I got it through a state agency in Louisiana. And I mean, I'm blessed to have had it. I still have it. It still works, but I didn't really find it very effective. I didn't, and I mean, I may eventually get back into it again. I might, but I find that now, just if I just kind of calm down a little bit, it kind of helps. And also too, I take some like supplements now that's supposed to help with stuttering, or supposed to help with like anxiety, and they actually help a little bit. I don't know if it's just like a a a placebo effect. It could be that, to be honest with you, but I feel like it does help a little bit. It helps with my anxiety. I don't have as much anxiety when I take certain like supplements. Um, so next question.
Um,
Oh, say it
what
again.
supplements are you taking?
Oh, a number of them,
What
man.
supplements are you taking?
A number of them. Actually, I'm gonna try to get them real quick so I can show them to you. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay, man, I'm back. So, real quick. So, one of them I take is there's a one called a triple com triple com. magnesium tablets. I take. You just take two of these a day because they say magnesium has a lot to do with anxiety. Our most of our diets they don't include magnesium, and since we over use the soil now, the magnesium in our food is a lot lower than it used to be. So I take this. It helps a little bit. I don't know how much, but also this right here it's called Asha. It's called it's called ashwagandha, I think is what it's called. But it's supposed to help with with like your mood, like anxiety. I take two of these a day too. And this stuff here, I think is what really works. It's called L theanine. It's I don't know if you ever heard of this before, but
Hmm.
apparently like with this stuff, it actually supposed to work. So I take one of
Yes,
these a day too.
that's what I have.
Oh, that's what you have. Okay. Uh,
Yes.
do you feel like it's helping you a little bit or no?
I only take it when I like kind of go out in social settings. So I haven't really had enough uh, usage on it yet
Okay.
to determine whether it works or not.
Yeah.
So I'll keep a record of that.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, man, I think it does help. My anxiety kind of goes down a little bit. It's not like I feel like when I stutter now, I don't have as much like tension when I stutter. It's more like more easy, I guess.
Gotcha.
It's easier stuttering. And finally,
True.
man, our last question, and then we can talk freely after this. But the last question is that have you ever been discriminated against or felt that you were treated differently due to your stuttering?
Um, Maybe it's been a long time, so I feel like people kind of maybe look at me maybe differently when they find out that I started. Like I have a coworker who I was talking to about it a little while ago, and he was like, "Yeah, like he threw me off at first, but I was like, I understand that. Most people now that I'm older, kind of understand more. But back when I was younger, man, I used to get teased all the time, and that probably contributed to my lack of, self confidence and with me not, you know, being as popular or having as many friends as I should have. It's like a domino effect, people like treat you a certain way, then you stop trying to actively do things, and um you to that causes like if I stop actively trying to get friends, I have less friends, but then I'll think I have less friends because I stutter. So it's kind of like that that domino effect. Um, and it was like that for a long time until like maybe a couple years ago, where I don't know, I kind of had an awakening, like this is who I am. And I'm just going to accept who I am. I can work on this issue, but this is just who I am. Kind of take me or leave me.
Yeah.
So
That, dude, I appreciate you sharing that, man. For me, yeah, I got teased a lot in middle school and elementary school. Surprisingly, it actually stopped in high school. I didn't really get teased at all in high school. I had a really easy time meeting a lot of people. Well, I went to a magnet school. I don't know if you know what that is. It's where you like people are like
yes.
a little bit smarter, I guess. Most of them were like very accepting of it. Most girls were very accepting of it. I think it just was a thing for me where I just couldn't express myself as freely as I wanted to. Um, I mean, now I do get treated a little differently. Like sometimes I've like talked to women and they'll like me, But when I have like a really bad stutter or I have a bad stuttering day, like they'll kind of look at me differently. And it's one of those things where sometimes I realize that I guess at first I'm a little disappointed because I think it's me, but I think that's a problem with like people that like try to be covert. You can only hide it for so long, and like you're like living a lie, and it's like you can't keep it up. You can't keep that mask on forever because if you do, when it shatters, that's it. And to me, it's better to like stutter in the beginning. It's almost better to stutter on the first conversation, so that way they know what it is. But just tell them, hey, it's variable. It's not going to be like this every time. You called me up on a bad day. You like called me in a situation where I was nervous. But the girls I've dated that have gone somewhere, I tell them that. I tell them that the worst thing about stuttering is that I have no control over it. Some days it's good, some days it's not good. But the problem is the problem for me is the inconsistency. It's where I literally don't know what kind of day I'm gonna have. And I think for me that's probably the hardest thing about stuttering is that it's just I feel like I have no control, and it's like certain words you used to get me sometimes. I used to like make ticks. I used to like uh, try to like get words out. I wouldn't give people eye contact. Close my eyes. I block sometimes. It's like different types of techniques. But what's funny is that it's never like one thing. It's always like some works and then it breaks and then it works and it breaks and it's like dude. And it's like I have to cope with how I talk.
Yeah.
And it's just the it's a
Yeah.
thing, man. That's it's just hard to explain for people that don't stutter. It's like you literally. I don't think anything else really like. I don't think people understand like, exactly how it feels because it's hard to like describe it. It's hard to describe that feeling, and it's just a thing, man. Where
Right.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's just something that I wish I could like put into words, but I really can't. You almost have to experience it.
Yes. I agree. I have friends. You know, like I said, my friends are great. They think it's no big deal. But uh, I kind of get frustrated because it's like you don't go through what I go through. Um, so when trying to like approach a woman or something like that, like you said, it's almost better to get it out the way. But it's uncontrollable, and that really is the frustrating part because I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know if it'll be just a stutter or if it's gonna be a block. Sometimes I have a real bad tick, so that kind of offsets people a little bit, here and there. So that really affects how I approach people and me doing it all. But I can see like a really like beautiful woman, and I'll want to talk to her, but I can't muster up the nerve to because I'm like, dang, you know, she's not gonna really understand me or like that. So, but I think that over time, as I keep trying to grow, I think it'll be more accepted by even myself, that I have an issue and it's okay. Just I just have to take other people's word that if somebody laughs or or something, that they're just not, that they don't have a place in my life. So and like I said, I've been dealing with this for a long time. So I feel like it's about time for me to just go with it. I've I've actually I I actually I forgot I do have another cousin who stutters too,
You know.
and he's older, and I didn't know that until he went on his college interview. And I said, man, why didn't you come ask me about it? Because, I actually use it in my interviews when they ask stuff like, what type of challenges do you have in your life? So I use it. I say, as you can probably already tell, I do have a speech impediment. I stutter. So that's a challenge trying to, every day, trying to communicate to people who may look at me funny or not really understand like uh, what I'm going through. So yeah,
Dude, it's awesome, man, that you do that you let them know, because if anything, it lets them know that you're that you're human, but that when you say, hey, well, yeah, I have it, but I deal with it, and I still. And one thing I do is that I like to tell them that, yeah, I deal with it, but it's not going to affect the job. It's not going to affect my job performance. I'm not going to let it affect that, because I don't want to. Some people, they want to say it's a handicap. I don't think it is. I don't think it's. I just think it's something that I don't think my stuttering is so severe that I can say it's a handicap. I don't think I can say that anymore. I mean, maybe when I was a little bit younger, but now I feel like I have somewhat some control over it sometimes. But it's just those anxiety moments, or those particular situations. I have to kind of work on that. I have to just not get, I have to get rid of that trauma, I guess. For me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like loud rooms or loud situations. I cannot talk in loud situations. I am really bad at that. Like in a club or in a loud
same.
room, I cannot talk to save my life. And when I approach women like in those situations, it's really hard. And it's like sometimes I'd rather just not even do it. I'd rather just like kind of do it in like a quieter setting. Um, I used to be afraid of the phone, not too much anymore. I mean, I can talk on the phone just fine. But usually when the phone rings now, it's some like stupid like telemarketer or some foolishness calling me, so I don't even answer the phone anymore at the time because it's just stupid stuff
Right.
calling me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but no,
Absolutely
man.
right.
I feel like, dude. I feel like you do have the right attitude, man. And the good thing about it is that you are learning that God made you that way. I mean, he made us to stutter. But honestly, man, I look at some like YouTube videos about people that are like disabled and in wheelchairs, and dude, I get so inspired by them because they're going through something too, but their attitude, the way they deal with it, their energy is so positive, and it makes you like, man, why am I complaining about what I got to deal with when they're dealing with what they got to deal with,
Right.
but they're actually doing it in a way where they're giving energy to other people, where they're bringing people joy. And I think that once we get to that point, it's a journey for everybody. But once we get to that point, we're going to be the same way. We're going to be able to have things that we want. We're going to be able to attract the right people. We're going to have everything that we want to have, not because we stutter, but because we play our cards the best way that we can. We get a whole bunch of twos. I can't do shit about that, to be honest with you. I just gotta just take the hand and just deal with
Right.
it. I mean, but it's one of those things
Roll with the
where,
punches.
yeah, it's where you have to basically just deal with it. But the fun thing about it, man, is I think the way God works is that He always finds a way to give you something that you only have, and He will bless you with that. But it's your job to find it. It's your job to cultivate that gift. I think everybody has that gift, even people that are disabled. Because I have an aunt. She's actually 2 years older than my mother is, and what's going on is my mom. She's taking care of her right now. But man, like I look at my aunt's life, Yeah, she never really like got to where she was independent, but the whole time she was alive, she kept my grandmother company. She slept with her every night. She was there for my grandmother. She gave value to her. She had a purpose. She still has a purpose now. And it may not be something
Right.
that we agree with or we see, but she's alive for a reason. And her being and her energy, like how she is, it makes people happy, man. I mean, she's a sweet person. She is. And it's one of those things, dude, where sometimes we have to understand that our expectations of people may not be God's purpose. It may not be like have you ever heard those people that have those like 200 IQs, right? And then they're supposed to go and
Hmm.
like become these like super duper like smart people. But they go and they do whatever they want to do and it's mediocre to the standards of
Yep.
what somebody else says. But it's like that person is them. Like they don't have to do something because you want them to do it. As long as they happy, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
and it's crazy how people like do that kind of stuff, man. It's like you want to live vicariously through somebody else, not realizing that that's that person's life. Let that person make their
Yep.
choices. And I guess, man, the point of me saying that is that I'm trying to look at my own life like that. That I have value. I do a lot of stuff that brings value to people, stutter or not.
That's
And I mean,
exactly.
and I just wish, man, that stutterers would just look inward, look within themselves, understand that, like I said, we have value. Stuttering is one aspect of our life, and if I have children, man, I'm gonna make sure I tell them that God made you perfectly. He made you how He wanted to actually make you. You're gonna have to look at the stuff that you're good at and cultivate those things. And I guarantee you, when you do that, you're gonna do things that are so much easier than everybody else is doing. That stuttering is gonna almost appear to be an equalizer in a way. And most people don't
Right.
even think like that. But it's the truth though.
Right. Right. That's a good way to think about it. Actually, a lot of my friends, I actually have a lot of women friends,
You do?
and they're like, "Oh, I don't even." Yeah, I do. Man, I dance and stuff like that. So I mean, a lot of women, you know, I mean, a whole lot of women. So a lot of them are like, "Oh, I know you stutter, but like, I don't even like, I don't pay no mind or whatever." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have all these other good qualities about me that it's really overlooked. And I really sat myself down one day and I was like, yeah, I know I stutter, but it's just all this anxiety and all this stuff just in my head. You know what I mean? Like, why am I tripping on myself? Well, I've always been harder on myself anyway than anybody ever could be. So that's that probably has a lot to do with that. I'm way harder on myself to be. I'm a musician by trade, so I'm kind of a perfectionist. So it's like if something isn't how how I want it to be, then I get frustrated. Is the word. Um, so if I have an experience or a meeting with somebody or something like that, and it doesn't go, I stutter a lot, or especially if I stutter in front of a lot of people, that's really a high anxiety.
Yeah.
I try to get out of there as fast as I can. Small talk makes me cringe because uh, of stuttering is just like, man, it's just more small. It's more talk to be had with small talk. It's like, dang, like so. But I don't know, man. Just having good people around you will make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
especially if they're truly, good friends, to that see more that can see past that. So
Yeah, no, no, I totally agree, man. I mean, it's they say that you are the five people that you're around the most. That they say that. They say that we're so social that we literally mimic people without even realizing it. And I think it's true. I think we do
oh yeah.
mimic people. And honestly, man, I'm gonna say this. Like for the year I've been out of my relationship, I've had a lot of time to be alone. And what have I told you, man? When I was in high school and college, I used to hate being alone. I used to hate. I could not go to a movie like alone. I couldn't do it. But I had to learn how to do it in college because I had to keep I had to keep meeting new friends every year, and I kind of had to force myself out of my comfort zone, and I had to learn that being alone is not a bad thing. It gives you a chance to play your own rules, but to prioritize stuff, to do things that you want to do, to build stuff, to because I'm gonna share something with you real quick. I actually went to Alaska in 2018, in December 2018, and I actually did a solo trip. I went up there alone to Alaska, and
Oh wow.
honestly, dude, I don't know if you ever done solo trips. Solo trips, man, are so fun. You don't have to be on nobody's schedule. You could do whatever you want to do. Like I get up whenever I want to get up. Go sleep whenever I want to get up. I don't have to wait on people to get ready. I ain't got to worry about somebody. And you get to meet new
Right.
people, man. And you get
You
to
don't.
because it's a whole different scenario where you don't have to worry about the other person. Dude, I'm gonna definitely be taking a
Right.
lot more solo trips because I loved it, man. I love being up there, man. I really did. And there are like no black people up there at all. At all. It was so weird. And they kept asking me, "Are you in the military?" I'm like, "No, I just come up here by myself." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm serious." And man, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you some
Yes.
videos I took because I made some videos up there. That place is so beautiful, dude. Like it's so pretty, man. Like, um, cause like it's an hour before California time, and I went like in December, and they dude, it gets dark at like 3:30. It gets dark. It's like crazy.
Ooh. Ooh.
So I'm like, what the hell? I'm like
Ooh.
outside. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then like the sun comes out at literally between like 9:30 and 10 o'clock a.m. So like it's
Ooh.
dark, dude.
That's
Like a
brutal.
long time. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And like it's snowing,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
The rental car I had, like I actually wrecked the rental car because I slid down a road
Oh
that was
gosh.
iced and it was horrible. Oh man,
Oh man.
dude,
That's the
dude,
worst
like
time to do it when you on
I
vacation.
thought I was about to go in somebody's house, dude. I was so scared. I'm like, oh no.
Sheesh. That's terrible,
Dude,
man.
I'm gonna say this, dude. If you ever go on a solo trip where there's ice, get the extra insurance because that extra insurance it saved my ass, dude. It saved me. I brought the car back. I was like,
Yes, sir.
oh, I bought the
Yeah.
insurance. I'm so happy right now.
Yes, Lord. And insurance will save you.
Yeah, it will do because I was about to,
Yeah,
because
insurance will save you.
dude, because it was bad, man. It was bad.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, I want to ask you one last
Jeez.
question, and
Sure.
and really, man, I mean, dude, I can let you go because I mean, dude, I really enjoyed this, man. I really think if we do this every week
Yeah,
and get
me
some more
too.
people to join, dude, it's gonna be nice, man, for us to talk to each other. But you say you say you have a daughter, right? Have you seen her like begin to stutter or
Yes.
no?
No, I asked her I actually asked her mom about it, and she says sometimes she'll trip up on words. Uh I guess because I was real down on my daughter one day. So I was kind of worried about her. So I asked her mom about how does she feel about it. She said sometimes she trips up on words and she'll say, "Oh, I get that from my daddy" or something like that. So when I went to go see her, I asked her, do you notice how I talk? And she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "What do you think?" And she was like I don't think anything. So, and she's really really smart,
Yeah.
So that made me happy that she doesn't, really think anything of it. If anything, that to me, I feel like that makes her more of an accepting person of other people who have different disabilities or situations about themselves. If she sees, yeah, my dad, he has an issue, or an ailment, that makes her more compassionate towards other people.
I
So, but her speech is fine, so it's fine.
that that's good, man. That's good, man. Cause I know that that's always that's a fear of every parent, man. Cause I've talked to people on Facebook. They even said that they don't even want to have children because they stutter, and I'm like, that's your choice. I mean, I can't say anything about that, but I mean, I still want to have children though.
Right.
Cause I even said that even if I knew my child was gonna have like Down syndrome or something like that, I would still have my child. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, hey, what's up? I love
Right.
you. I don't
Right.
care. I really don't, cause I feel like
Right.
man, your child is like it is you. It is your legacy. It is your like. I see why parents are so invested in their children because that is literally you. That's going to be what's going to be there whenever you die, and you want what you die. You want what's going to be there when you die to have everything that can be done. You want to take your all your failures and you want to put those solutions into them, or those words of advice to say, hey, don't do that because it happened to me too. And what's funny, man, is me and my father,
Right.
like, he passed he passed in 2007, and dude, like he's the kind of person, man, where he was so solution oriented. I could call him crying about something. He would talk me through it, and I feel like $1 million after I get off the phone with him. I used to he used to edify me so much, dude. I used to like I miss that, man. I miss that now because I get it from some other people, but he knew exactly how I felt, and he could like he literally knew exactly what to say, what the solution was, and then when I had enough sense to listen to him, it always worked, man. It always worked, and that's something, man, that I want to be to my children. I want to be that pillar for them. I want them to understand that I want you to be better than me. I want to give you everything that I have because I want you to be a better person. And sometimes I know that it's going to be hard because sometimes your children are going to be hard headed. I was hard headed too. I realized I was so dumb at 18. I was a damn
Oh,
idiot at 18, man. I was an idiot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was stupid. Cause like,
I think we all were. We just didn't know it.
yeah, and it's like when you get in your 30s, man, you're like, man, shit is so much easier now that I understand how shit is now, how stuff is now. It's like it's so much
Yep.
it's so much clearer now. I
Yep.
think in my 30s.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I've always been a guy who I've always been that kid. Uh, I kind of have an old soul, so I've always been around older folks,
Yeah,
listen to what they had to say. So even if somebody told me um, that I should do something this way, even if I did what I wanted to do, I always remember, oh man, they did say that. You know what I mean? Like I always remember what they said, even if I didn't do what they told me to do.
yeah.
But I've always, I was kind of like the little boy in the living room when none of the other kids were allowed in the living room. Old older folks were talking, and I'll be listening to them. I'll be just listening to them, picking up, soaking up all the knowledge, you
Yeah.
know, and that allowed me to make better decisions when I got older, you know. But even being kind of like an older soul, you know, of course I still made my mistakes, and like now I was like, man, when I was 18, I was dumb. Even when I thought I was, smarter than everybody else, I still was dumb,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
the
but hindsight is 2020. So,
it is, man, and I think those hard lessons, they it teaches you character. And I think, man, stuttering, it teaches you character too.
right.
I think it teaches you how to be humble. Like, cause actually, man, I
Most
sympathize
definitely.
with people with disabilities. I sympathize with people that are like going through something. I can almost see somebody going through something and just want to help them, because I guess I just it's like I want to see them like better. I want to see them like actually do better. And I'm not gonna say that like other people are not worthy of that. They are, but it's like I guess I'm just I can kind of like well, felt like we're on the same wavelength. Like whenever we're like dealing with something, or we're dealing
Right.
with a challenge, and I've always kind of, because I remember I said my
Right.
aunt, she's handicapped. I grew up around her, and I used to have to help her out and do stuff for her, and I mean, and it's just I think like you said, it teaches you character, and I'm like you, man. I used to like to talk to older people. Um, they have so much wisdom, man. Like they're literally, it's like an ATM. That's like free money, basically. To me, it's like the best thing ever,
Right. Free
because
money. Yes.
because they want they want they want to pass those things off to you, and it's equal exchange where you're giving them comfort, you're giving them like time and attention, and they're giving you edification. And I think that's something, man, that a lot of people, I don't think they really get it now. It's important, man. The elders are here for us, man. Believe it or not, they're here for us, and
Right.
you just have to
I
just
agree.
you just have to be willing to humble yourself and talk to them, and be willing to just try to ask them for advice, because most of them have been through everything, man, that we're going through now. There's so many people on this planet, dude, and people that have died.
Somebody been through it.
Yeah, like people are going through it like as we speak right now. And it's just, you just have to be
Right.
willing to understand that you're not the end all be all. And I think 18, when you get that independence, it makes you kind of, I'm independent now, so I know everything. And it's like you're so idealistic and green. It's like, dude, you don't know anything at all. And
Right. You don't
I'm
know.
so blessed, man, that I avoided a lot of those really bad situations where those lessons were hard, but it wasn't like a life changing lesson, man. Because they'll, some people, man, they'll do stuff at 18 and they'll go to jail for life, dude. And or like they'll die. I mean, it's the way lessons work, man. Is that sometimes, man, they're a little harsh sometimes, and it's just a blessing,
Yeah.
man. I'm realizing that being old is a blessing. Like it's not a bad thing. Having gray hair is a blessing, dude, because it means that you were
You're
old.
right.
You got old enough to actually do it. Because
To have it. Yep.
dude, there are people
Exactly.
I knew in college, man, that I was cool with them, and they died in college, and I'm like, what? And and the fun thing
Yeah.
and the fun thing about you dying, dude, is that you die at that age. Everybody else gets older, and you
Yep.
are
Yep.
you are remembered at that age. And it's just it's a hard thing to accept, dude. But I just thank God, man, that he's given me so many opportunities to like get things right. And I feel like stuttering for me, it's a challenge, but it's not the only thing I'm going through. So it's not, it's definitely not that. So
Right. nah, it ain't the only thing it ain't the only thing I'm going through. This is very minor.
Yeah, no, no, it is, man. Dude, but Antoine, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I really like talking to you, man. I mean, I think, man, we have very good
Oh yeah, same
conversation.
here.
Dude, I'm really glad, man.
Yep.
I'm really glad that you are there. As far as your daughter, I'm glad that you in her life, dude. I hope you realize, dude, you're gonna be you're so important right now, and your presence is gonna show, man. It will. It's gonna. She's gonna be so happy to have you, man, around. She will be.
Oh yeah, I try to be there, and she doesn't live with me, but I even with the distance between us, I'm still there in her everyday life. With school, whether she has a play or anything that she does, I have a direct impact in her life. So I try to make you know my presence known and felt. So she definitely looks up to me to to be there for her or whatever. So
No, that's awesome, dude. That's really awesome, man. I just hope, man, that I do that for my children because I know I'm gonna have to change some habits right now. I'm gonna have to definitely prioritize them, and I'm ready
yeah,
for the challenge, man. I'm ready for it, but it's just the biggest fear, man. I want to have a child with the right woman, man. I want to make sure that she understands that I don't really want to be on child support. I don't want to deal with that at all. To be honest with you, I'm gonna tell her straight up, like, hey, like,
no, you don't.
uh, before we even do anything, do you believe in child support? That's the first thing I'm gonna ask her, bro. To be honest with you,
Right.
because I'm gonna give her like a crash course on it and say
Man,
how wrong it is. Say that again, man.
I think I lost you.
Okay.
Oh, oh, I had lost you for a second.
Okay. Okay. That's all good.
I couldn't hear or see you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I got you back now.
Okay, man. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, man. Dude, what I'm saying, dude, is that I'm
Yes.
just so afraid of that right now, dude. I don't want to. You're gonna really have to vet a chick, man. That's how I feel right now, and I'm gonna make sure I do my part. But I just gotta make sure that
Right.
she
Right.
understands that like I'm not gonna not have a child and not be in my child's life. You don't even have to do that.
Oh, yeah. That's an option. With as not even just with me, but with my family. I seen it within my own family, and they don't play that at all. So, um, but yeah, like even just small stuff. I had gotten a bad accident. Well, it could have been worse, but I got in an accident about 2 years ago, and
Yeah,
in the morning, I guess I told her because it happened like I guess in the wee hours of the morning. So when I woke up, I got myself together and everything. I told her about it on FaceTime or whatever, and like I told her what happened and everything. She was like, "Well, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she gave me a thumbs up, and I just like I don't know what it was like like looking at her. I just broke down because I was like, man, like I could have been taken away from her
yeah,
or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I know what that could have did to her or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So I'm really here for her to you know to guide her through this world or to do the best that I can.
yeah.
So like that really like got to me. Just looking at her like man, like I don't know like what I would do without her. You know.
Yeah, no,
So
no, no, man, and do it. And I'm gonna say this, man. It's a blessing that you're here right now, and that you're okay. I mean, everything, man. I think everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. Um, Sometimes is there to like scare us. Sometimes is there to get us to appreciate things.
Right.
But I really think, man, that as long as we're still here, we're able to move forward with our lives and continue, man, to be of value to other people. Because I just want to make myself a better person, and then when I put energy into people, that is positive energy, and it's not negative energy. That's one thing that I'm trying to make sure I do right now with
Right.
that. Yeah. All right, Antoine. Well, hey, man. I really,
Okay.
really
Yeah.
enjoyed talking to you, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I did, I did. I'm gonna definitely, man.
Same. Same here.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the recording. But hold on, man.